Hey there. I'm going to try this again. If you're out there, great. If not, we're going to have good time by ourselves. Uh, but tonight I live be livin'. So let's start with who do you ever sit down at your computer and you go to do some work and you find yourself digging around through files and emails and folders and apps just to find what you need to work on the project that you were going to work on. You find yourself frustrated. You find yourself not getting as much done as you expected to get done. Well, that's me. Sometimes it just happens. And that's because digital clutter creeps up on us all. And if that sounds familiar to you, you are seriously not alone. It definitely creates havoc in our lives on occasion. So, we're kicking off show number 145 here in the month of September. And we're going to talk about clearing this stuff out so that you can be more efficient, you can get more done, you can maximize the use of the time that you have and cut down on the stress and feel more confident and in control of your day and the time that you're investing. But for me to help you, I need you to help me. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do is answer a couple of questions in a poll. And I'm going to put the questions up. I see two or three people out there will come back and I'll say hi to you, but I want to put a poll up so that you can know what you're going to answer. You're going to answer these three one of these three questions. And the question is, where do you find your biggest mess in your digital world? Is it in your files and folders? Is it in your email inbox? Is it in notes and apps? I could have separated notes as one thing and the plethora of apps we have is something else. Whichever one of these apply to you, put a 1 if it's number 1, a 2 if it's number 2, and a 3 if it's number 3. And later on, we'll come back and dig into those and see what we can do about them. So before we do that, we do have a couple people who are out here in the building with us today. And I want to say hello to you. So we have in the building with us, um, Inanea, glad to have you in the building, ma'am. So glad to have you here with us. And we have the emotional CEO. Happy September. You're changing it. Live Tribe. Yes, welcome Friday Live Tribe. And for those who have not yet commented, who are just watching, I'm glad you're here in the building with me. I look forward to this topic because I'll tell you where it came from. I got a hot mess going on with my files, and I'm usually pretty particular. But I realized over the last few weeks that I have not been as diligent about so mine is number 1, files and folders. I have not been as diligent about ensuring that I'm cleaning and pruning the files and folders that I have because I use multiple locations. I've got local storage just here on my hard drive on my computer. I also have external storage where I archive documents off to, and I have cloud storage. And and not only do I have cloud storage, I have 2 of them. I have Google Cloud and I have iCloud. So, wanting to get this cleanup done, this spring cleaning done for all of these folders, because I'm about to endeavor on a big project that's gonna create a whole bunch more files was important. So, I figured I'd bring you all along with me as I walk through this journey myself and where you find benefit and you can use some of the tips and tricks that I'm applying, great. So files and folders, one thing is last weekend I had to clean up my downloads folder, but it took me a little bit longer than I expected it to because I had been downloading and saving images and saving PDFs and documents I had started working with and merging, and it just needed some cleanup. So got through that. And we'll come back to that. But let's talk about why this drains us. Because what I realized is I was getting just energy drain dealing and looking at all of these files all over the place. And when I say all over the place, remember I've got multiple storage locations. And so looking for information files that I needed was what caused this crisis to happen. And so I'm going to talk about the first thing, why this drains you. And that's really the the reason it drains you is cuz you just can't do the thing you want to do. You can't just sit down and say I've got this file, I know where it is, I know exactly what I'm gonna do with it. It's kinda like and I know I'm not the only one, that drawer in the kitchen that stuff just in there and we don't wanna open it. I got one too. Every other drawer got everything what's supposed to be in there, how it's supposed to be in there. This one drawer of stuff is just stuck in there. The kitchen junk drawer. Most of us, unless you're a professional chef, not chef has one of those. Well, my files were the same thing. So every random file going everywhere, in my email inbox, in my storage, in extra apps, on my hard drive, on my external drive, in one of the two cloud storage locations. It's just a lot of noise. It's noise. It's visual noise. And that noise, just like noise we hear, slows us down. We've got to spend a little bit more energy to figure out where to look. We've got to move files around to get them exactly where we want them. So when you lose that 10 minutes, that's a lot of time searching for files. That's 10 minutes you could have written an email, you could have worked on a graphic, you could have recorded a segment of a course, you could have answered a question for a client. So we're losing valuable time, but not only are we losing valuable time, we're losing momentum because we don't just sit down and start on the project. The project is not where we want. Now, this is the kicker for me. I'm telling on myself. So you guys, if this is not you, okay. But I'm telling on myself because I don't believe I'm the only one who's struggling with this. Um, I have the tools to keep me straight. For example, I have the file management tool Hazel. What I realized is I had not set Hazel up on the particular machine that I was struggling with. It was on other machines working great, but it wasn't on this machine that I was working with. So I was like, okay, I need to set up my Hazel rules so that it's moving files around. We'll get to that. But if you're juggling a busy workday, personal commitments, volunteer work, content creation, family, health, all of those things, that 10 minutes of or that friction of just not being able to sit down and immediately start working on what you want to work on is noise, it's friction, and it can be frustrating and it can stop us from actually even starting the project. So that does happen and it has happened to me. Looking for a document or even worse can never find I don't find the document and it was something that I really needed to talk about. So now let's understand why how we can make progress on cleaning this stuff up. Files and folders, remember? How do we make progress on cleaning up files and folders in a way that's manageable? It doesn't take over our life or days and hours to get it under control, to get these files and folders under control. And I'm going to start with saying to you start small. Start with a small effort. Get a win under your belt. And that's because wins will give you momentum. Wins will give you momentum. I'm going to pause for a second here and just remind you if you're just joining us that we have a poll going, and that poll is pick whichever of these is true for you in your digital world right now. You're struggling, you've got a big mess in files and folders in your email inbox or in your notes and apps. One, two, or three, drop it in the comments and we'll come back and see how those are going um, toward the end of the broadcast tonight. So I'm going to say start small with your digital declutter project. Don't try to sit and clean up everything at one time in one swoop, one sitting. I even I made a plan. I'm work for me it's files and folders. So I have a way I structure my files and folders. And that way is my top level is four folders: projects, areas of focus, resources, and archive. My archive, one of the things I'm going to do is move that completely to cloud storage because I don't need to keep it local anywhere. I'm moving all of the archive to cloud storage with a few exceptions, which will be on physical external hard drives. But when I say start small, if your downloads folder, for example, is overflowing, you haven't organized them in weeks or longer, maybe start there and start with a very short period of time. Instead of saying, I'm going to get all of these files and folders out of this downloads folder and I'm going to sit here until it's done, start and say, I will organize these files and folders for 5 minutes today. Just 5 minutes. Just set a time limit, set a timer. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever that time is for you, and clear out as much as you can in that specific time. It may not be ever refiled. That's okay. It's perfectly okay for whatever time it is. Okay. One focused area, focusing on a specific time, it does a couple of things for you. It gets you a win. You can see some progress being made. It doesn't feel like it's overwhelming to you, and it begins to build momentum. That's your to do if this is your area. Files and folders is your area. Now, this same process you can apply with email inbox overflowing or just email overflowing at all. You can apply it to apps as well. The best thing is start small. Once you decide to start small and you start somewhere, you need to have a system to make sure that it doesn't creep back in. Let's talk about that next week. But start to think, what is my system? I shared with you for files and folders, my basic structure is four folders, top level. And I came to that understanding when I learned about Tiago Forte. Maybe you've heard of him. If you haven't, you can just type his name in on YouTube and his content will come up. And he's got a system he called PARA: projects, areas of focus, resources, and archive. Works great in the digital world. So that's where we're going to land on files and folders today. I see you have put some options in the chat. If you haven't, again, I'm going to encourage you to let us know in the chat where your challenges, files and folders, email inbox, notes, and apps. Because once you do that, I'll know how to help you. Okay. Then we're going to talk about setting up a system. Maybe Para doesn't work for you. Maybe you have a different area. If it's applications, one of the things I'm also doing is I'm cleaning up out. I have too many applications. So I'm cleaning up the applications and I'm making sure that I'm sticking with ones that I use all the time. I have a few that I use consistently and then others that I've tested. Those ones that I've tested, those applications that I have tested that I'm not using, I'm getting them off of my devices, whether it's my iPad, my phone, my computer, wherever, I'm getting those applications off. Once you've started, the real power will come from you not letting the clutter creep back in. And I want to share with you some ways to make sure you don't let it creep back in. But there's a I call it a cadence that we work with. And in that, it's collecting, having a landing spot where this digital stuff goes. Now, many of us by default, that's our downloads folder if it's files. It's our email inbox if it's email. It's the home screen on our device or the apps folder on our computer if it's apps. So you may decide that that's not where you, especially files and folders, since that's what I'm focusing on for me, that may not work for you. You may decide to do something else. In your system, just like we said, to start to get some momentum, we're going to work through, I'm going to encourage you to work through a day, once a day, just for a little bit, making some decisions about what to do with the stuff. Whether you're going to think about purging a room in your house. And the home organizers have taught, and I've seen for years, setting up 3 boxes. The things that you're gonna keep, the things that are gonna go, and the things that you're gonna give away. You can use the same process, what I'm gonna keep, what I'm gonna delete, what I'm gonna archive. Keep, delete, or archive. Those are your choices. You really don't have any other choices. It's one of those 3. The question is, how are you going to use it, okay? And then we're gonna have put into our weekly review, like a 5-minute review of these core areas each week to make sure we keep them clean. We're gonna dig into this whole process of keeping our system, our environment, files, folders, email, apps, notes, clean and clear over the next few sessions, the next few episodes. We're going to get very clear about it, put some action behind it. And I want to encourage you, don't focus on trying to be perfect with this. Focus on reducing the friction for you to get started and to get moving and have momentum in your digital workspace in a way that supports you achieving your goal. Whether your goal is writing more letters, writing more newsletters, watching more movies, creating more video, running your organization, running your family, taking care of your health, taking care of your home, wherever it is for you, this helps. Everyone, virtually everyone, has this digital clutter problem, challenge that we're digging into. Okay. So if you haven't, let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if your challenge, your digital clutters and files and folders, a 2 if it's in your email inbox, or 3 if it's in your notes and apps. Okay. And then we're going to talk about what to do with that as we go through here. And I'm going to say hello to a couple folks who have joined in today. And hey, Walter Strong, Kneeling Warriors, you're seeing your number 1 is files and folders. Awesome. Hey, hey, David Hunt, glad to see you in the building with us this evening. Glad to have you here. So I'm going to jump in and say, you said number six. What? What? Hey, James Hicks. So glad to have you in the building with us this evening. I don't know what David Hunt is talking about. How you doing? Glad to have you. You picked something that wasn't even an option, sir. Are you serious right now? Okay. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So since files and folders is it, that's what we're gonna and that's mine. Files and folders right now is what I'm tackling. And I've given you some, some people gonna be so special. Some people gonna be extra special. That's all I'm gonna say. David says one, two, and three, all of the above. Okay, all of the above for you. All right. So since that was it, and I'm really struggling with that myself and I'm working through it, let's commit together to pick one area on our device, whether it's on our phone, on our tablet, on a computer, whether it's a desktop, laptop, whichever, and whatever that pick a folder, your downloads folder, another folder, a projects folder, and commit to a specific amount of time, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. And if you're interested in doing a purge with me session, I'll come on with you and we'll sit and work through it and we'll just work through cleaning, doing some house cleaning up, decluttering on our computers and devices together. Get some momentum. And then what I want you to do once you're doing that and you've committed to it, this is where the accountability come in. One of our moderators, the emotional CEO, is really, 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 really big on accountability, and I happen to agree with him. What I want you to do is go to this link, join.florencespeaks.com, join our community purpose and productivity, and let's journal or document our progress with doing this cleanup, this decluttering through the month of September in our digital world. How are you coming? What challenges you're running into? What questions you have? This is a great place to have A, people working alongside you, B, people who understand what you're working through, and C, people who can answer questions and provide advice and tools and processes to help you get through the effort. All right. So our result today was files and folders. And one of the things I want to encourage you to also think about, and this just came to me because I have it in my list. If you have not established a naming convention for your files, let me know. You can come in the community and drop a note saying, I don't have a naming convention and I need help coming up with a naming convention, and I'll work with you. And there are others in the community who can help you as well. Because one of the keys, especially in files and folders, is the naming convention that you use on those files. Okay. Again, we're not doing a full blown, we're going to spend 16 hours, 2 days straight of doing purging. We're going to do small blocks of time. Any questions? Let's hop into and see if anyone has any questions of what I've gone over today for this piece of this starting to our digital environment. Refresh our digital environment so that going into this last quarter of the year, preparing, we head into the end of the year in a really strong place and not where we've been. Confession time, if you will. I'm dealing with the same challenge. This is not me on a pedestal. This is me saying this is real, it's real life, and the more work I've done, the more the the messaging I put out, the more real it has become. I'm creating more images than before. I'm creating more video than before. I'm writing more documents, more newsletters, more blog posts. I'm writing much more. All of that content, all of that stuff has to be organized so that I can A, get to it, and B, know what I produced, what I published, and where it is without me having to spend 10 minutes to get started on the next project. So that's what I've got this evening. I want to give you one more opportunity to know we've got a community that's in place. You can come in, get the help you need, and more importantly, have accountability. I look forward to seeing you in the community working alongside getting this stuff in your life cleared, ready to go, doing this spring cleaning in the fall in your digital environment. With that, I'm going to say we're finished for today. I am so excited that you were here. Glad that you came along. And I will see you right back here in the next video or in the next live stream. Have a great evening, everyone.